Welcome everybody to a special edition of our Monday night shiur. We're in the Hilula of Moshe Rabenu. Before we begin, Shiva Ba'adar, the 7th of Adar, we're exactly 7 days away from Purim and exactly 37 days away from Pesach. Alright? So we're counting the days to the great redemptions. The first redemption is Purim. The second redemption is Pesach. And then we have Sefirat HaOmer, which are great and lofty days where all of us become a little bit of a Nazir. They're doing Daf Yomi Nazir right now, where we all grow our hair. The Ari says we don't grow our hair during the Sefirat HaOmer because we're mourning. That's just an excuse. We really grow our hair, what's his name? Gabriel. Kai. We really grow our hair on what's his name? Because we become like a Nazir.
Can I put gel?
And that's why the Ari... No, you can't, because they might take off the hair. That's why the Ari HaKadosh was very, very makpid not to shave before day 50. Not to shave, I'm saying take a haircut. Because a Nazir is not allowed to take off his hair at all. Alright? Even if the 49th day would fall on Shabbat, and the 48th day you would have to shave, because before the Chag, he was very makpid not to shave. But no, he did shave at the end, but he didn't want to. The Rashash didn't want to shave.
Not pushing this out.
Yeah. So therefore, we're going into very holy days, and from then we're going to the end of the year. So let's say the dedications for this week's shiur, the Hilula of Moshe Rabenu, the real Hilula. This is Mamash Hilula. This is not. This is Mamash the Hilula. It's his birthday and it's Hilula. Somebody told me today it's also the Hilula of Esther HaMalka. I don't know where they're getting this stuff from, but I would love to see a source. So first of all the anonymous donors, Hashem should bless you guys with bracha, revacha, atzlacha, parnasa, refuah, zivugim agulim, chinuk eladim. Hashem should bless Leiladim Bezerah Bar Kayama to Amram ben Chana and Refuah Shlema to Shraga Faivush ben Malka. Refuah Shlema is, I think, Kosovo Rebbe. He's very, very sick. He was diagnosed with cancer. Very big tzaddik, yeah. Bechor, what is it, Leuni Shmat? Refuah Shlema, Bechor Baris Ben Mazal and Avner Ben Yael, and also the Avner Ben Yael. Names are only for people who sponsor, Rabbi Isaac. And Lezivu Gagun, Le Susanna, Surit Bat Larissa Rivka, and Gabriel Chai Ben Reuven, Refuah Shlema, Le Shlomo Ben Shifra, and Sarah Bat Tzuriah. Hashem should bless all the donors. The Zchut Moshe Rabenu, B'zchut the Torah that he brought down from Har Sinai, Luchot Rishonot and Luchot Shniyot should be again on all the donors and their children and their children's children. Ad Sof Kol HaDorot V'chein Yatzon. Amen. Okay, so what do we start with Moshe Rabbeinu? How do we start speaking about the man who did everything? He achieved more than any human being has ever achieved. The Ari HaKadosh writes, it's written in the Zohar, written in Mincha of Shabbat, Moshe Rabbeinu died on Shabbat. Right? On the day that he passed away, superhuman, he wrote 13 Sefer Torahs. First, he wrote one Sefer Torah. He gave it to his Shevet Levi. We all know the Leviim were considered big Talmidei Chachamim. For 210 years in Mitzrayim, these guys were pounding at it while everyone was working. Right? And Moshe Rabbeinu, when he passed away, he wanted to give a Sefer Torah just to his Shevet. Okay? He taught the Torah to everybody, but the Sefer Torah just to his Shevet. And then all the Shvatim came to Moshe and said, Moshe, it's not fair. We also want Sefer Torah written by the one and only. And he wrote with the Rambam answers. How did he write on Shabbat? He wasn't the one writing. He did Hashba'at HaKulemus. That means he made a shvu'ah on the pen, and the pen was Rambam writing. The Rambam, when he says something like this, it means a lot because the Rambam writes. The Rambam is a very rational man, right? He doesn't believe in kishuf. He doesn't believe in ayin hara. He doesn't believe in mazalot. He says it's all women's talk. Here, right? It's all superstition and women's talk, right? What does he do with all the Gemaras that talk about this stuff? I have no idea what he does with it. But, I don't know what he does with it. But he said it's all women's talk, all superstition. So for the Rambam to say that Moshe Rabbeinu made Hashba'at HaKulemus on the pen and he wrote 13 Sifrei Torot on Shabbat, it's something extraordinary and out of the ordinary. Yes? Moshe de Leon is somebody totally else. He's not connected to Moshe Rabbeinu. He's a very controversial figure. Let's not get into him. When it's going to be his Hilula, we'll talk about him. Bezrat Hashem, bli neder. Alright? Moshe Rabbeinu, When did he have time? Listen, if Moshe Rabbeinu, if Yoshua Benun, if the students stopped the sun and the moon, stopped the earth in orbit, then I'm guessing also the Rebbe could have done such a thing. But in general, when you do Hashba'at HaKulamus, right? Imagine if I would say right now, I would say I printed 13 books in one day. Would you be surprised by such a thing? No. Why? You go to the computer, you press one button, print, 13 copies. In one day, you think you could make 13 books? Or you could make 1,000 books. So I'm telling you, Hashba'at HaKulamus is faster than a printing machine. So the fact that he did only 13 Sifrei Torahs is a less of a thing. Now we don't know where his Sifrei Torahs are. All right, one was put inside the Aron HaKodesh. The original Sifrei Torah was put inside the covenant, the Ark of the Covenant. What happened to the Ark of the Covenant? We all know the famous Gemara. Shlomo HaMelech knew, after, Shlomo HaMelech, he had 1,000 wives. 300 real wives with chuppah v'kiddushin, 700 pilakshim. Now the Chachamim asked, Shlomo, you guys don't know this, but we're going to talk about the Gilgulei Neshamot of Moshe Rabenu today. That's the point of our shiur. Shlomo HaMelech was the Gilgul of Moshe Rabenu. How do we know? Shlomo is equal the letters LeMoshe. Alright? So where Moshe completed the Mishkan, Shlomo completed the Beit Hamidrash. And also Moshe Rabenu had an Isha Kushit. He had an Isha Kushit. Shlomo fixed that. How did he fix that? Remember the Queen of Sheba? When she came to him and she wanted to be his 1,001 wife, the Queen of Sheba. And the Chachamim said, if you're going to marry, you had 1,000 already. If you have one more, you're out. We're going to rebel against you. Because remember, all the idea of democracy and republics and all that stuff is what? That the president is under a court. Right? The court is the highest authority, right? But the court is picked by the people. That's the checks and balances. The Americans didn't make this up. It's all nonsense. Right? It's all Judeo. It's all Jewish. In Jewish law, the king is subservient to the Sanhedrin. What the Sanhedrin say, the king from the line of David, when he comes in front of the Sanhedrin, he has to stand up with respect. You understand? I'm talking about the highest Supreme Court, the Sanhedrin of the Lishkat HaGazit. Right? Only one kind of king could sit down in front of the Supreme Court of the Jewish people, the Sanhedrin, a king from not the tribe of David, from the tribe of Yehuda, from the tribe of the other tribes. Why? They were never religious. If you used to, cross them in the wrong way, you know what would happen to you. There was once a story, one of the King Yanai HaMelech. He was a Chashmonai king, but he was already a Tzeduki. Tzeduki means he didn't believe in the Chachamim. He only believed in the written Torah. Basically, it was just an excuse to do whatever he wanted to do. And he had a slave that killed somebody. A slave that killed somebody. Now the halacha is, if a slave kills somebody, a goy slave, who has to answer for it?
The owner.
The owner. Who's the owner over here? The king. The Jew. A king, I'm telling you. So, who was the Nasi at that time? None other than Shimon ben Shatach. You know who Shimon ben Shatach was? Shimon ben Shatach was one of the greatest. He's before the Tanaim. He's part of the Zugot, the pairs. He was the student of Yoshua ben Prachya. You also know him as the Rebbe of Yoshka. Yeah. All right. So Shimon ben Shatach. He was one of the Zugot, and he called in. He's the head of the Sanhedrin. He calls in Yanai HaMelech for the din, to stand for the din. He comes in, and he tells him, stand up. And he says, you're going to tell me to stand up in front of you? I'm the king. I'm going to sit down. And if you're going to cross me one more time, your head is going to be on the gallows. You should say thank you. You still have your head of the Supreme Court, Shimon ben Shatach. So he sits down and he says, bring your Eved over here. He brings the Eved. He says, what's the problem? He killed somebody. Now, how many are in the Sanhedrin? 71. The leader is the 71st. He's the 71st. He's the head of everybody, right? So he's sitting at the head, and Shimon says, you're gonna say I'm chayav for my servant's death? Make the vote. He looks to his right. All the Sanhedrins to his right put their head down as if we plead the fifth. We plead the fifth. He looks to his left. Shimon ben Shatach was strong. He had no fear. And he was also his brother-in-law, by the way. He looks to his left. And to his right, all the Sanhedrin put their head down. He says, what? You guys are afraid of Basar Vadam? Yavo hamelech ve'yifra mibasar vadam. May the king come and take his pound of flesh from the basar vadam. The Gemara says Malach Gabriel came down and he smote all, basically heart attack in a shot, all of them, 70 heart attacks in one shot. Boom, he kills all of them. At the end he ran away, then he came back. How did he come back? Yanai wanted to kill him. Shimon ben Shatach. He killed 80 witches. 80 witches in Ashkelon, right? And how did he bring him back? Look how the Jewish people, they got to a place, we say that our generation is bad. The king was sitting in the, like this, they're sitting down, and all the dignitaries, this, that, and he tells his wife, who's going to make zimun for us? Basically, who here knows how to say Birkat HaMazon? They didn't even know how to say Birkat HaMazon. Do you hear what I'm telling you? This is the time of the Zugot. That's how persecution was. He says, so she tells him, her name was Shlomit. He tells her, Shlom Tzion. He tells her husband, how are you going to get a guy to save your Birkat HaMazon for you, Zimun, if you killed all of them? He says, bring your brother. He's running away from you to bring him. He said, no, I'm not going to touch him, bring him. And he bring him. And then, just to say Zimun. Just say Zimun. He brings him down. That's right. No, but look at this. They didn't respect the Chachamim, but they respected to bless HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He brings him and he puts him in between him and the queen. He puts him in a seat of glory. He says to him, look, you disrespect me. Look how much respect I'm giving you. And you think he respected him back? He looks at his brother and says, you respecting me? My Torah respects me. Know your place. He tells the king, his brother-in-law. That's what we call Sanhedrin. That's what we call Zugot. That's what we call Talmidei Chachamim. That's what we call godless B'Shem Torah. You understand? This is who Shimon ben Shatach was, who brought back the Torah when it got lost, who taught all the people Torah again, when the people didn't even know how to say Zimun. Didn't know how to say Zimun. When Yanai died, just a side point before we go back to Shlomo HaMelech, who's Moshe Rabenu. When Yanai died, he told his wife, don't be afraid of the Sadducees, of the Tzdukim. Don't be afraid, basically, of the people who you know are bad. Don't be afraid of the rabbis who you know are good. Be afraid of the people who act like they're good, but they're really inside bad. You understand? Which is kind of a play, and a play of words, because all of his life he was convinced by all these people who thought they were his friend. He thought they were his friends. They looked like Pinchas, but they did the acts of Zimri, say the Gemara. And they asked the Sachar of Pinchas. Understand? So going back to Shlomo HaMelech, who's Moshe, we said he built the Mishkan, he built the Beit HaMikdash. Moshe had a black wife, right? He had the Ethiopian wife, and Shlomo had the queen of the Sheba. But there was one mistake Shlomo did, and that day, that's when Rome was created. He married the princess of Egypt, the daughter of Pharaoh. The daughter of every say Egypt, somebody here likes to laugh. She was the princess of this is before Alexandria. This is in the, I don't know what it was called back then, but the princess of Egypt he married, and she was his favorite wife. Favorite. He built her house. It took him 14 years to build her house. Imagine what kind of house that was. It's a serious house. Beit HaMikdash took him 7 years. So the Chachamim say, building department, violation, work order, stop order. So the Chachamim say, was it a good thing that he? Do we look at Shlomo building his wife's house for 14 years and the Beit HaMikdash for 7 years? We see it as a negative thing or a positive thing? As usual, there's a machloket in the Gemara. One rabbi says it's a positive thing because he wanted to build the Beit HaMikdash faster, and he told his wife, "Adachni, you could wait." But another person said, "No, it's a negative. Why? The Beit HaMikdash he took faster because he just wanted to get rid of it. But his wife's house, he had to make it nice, oak, and this, that. His wife, but there's 7 years it took him, right? 7 years, and then he finished building the Beit HaMikdash in the month of Ziv. Back then, there was no such kind of thing as Cheshvan, Iyar, Sivan, Tammuz. The ones had Hebrew names. The month of Iyar was the month of Ziv. I don't know what the month of Adar was. You're looking at me. I don't know. All right? Ziv was the month of Iyar. Cheshvan was the month of Bul. Bul. Bul comes from the word Mabul. Because the month of Cheshvan, there was the Mabul, so they call the month. Now we call it Cheshvan. All the names of our months, they're all Babylonian Aramaic names. Now. Okay, right now. All the names that we use. And Ezra, he instituted those months. he saw in them holier names than in the Lashon HaKodesh, right? So he instituted that we should only call the months by those names. But how is it possible? There is a secret behind it. We're not going to do it today. But he built the Beit HaMikdash in the month. He finished in Ziv, but he didn't do Chanukat HaBayit until the month of Tishrei. 7 days they partied. The last day was Yom Kippur, and they all ate and drank. There's a machloket. Did they eat and drink because they didn't know the halachot? Or they ate and drank because they thought the simcha of the Beis Hamikdash overcomes the fast of Yom Kippur. Rabbi Yehuda says they made an avera by eating on Yom Kippur. That means they didn't know. That means most people didn't know. You understand? Maybe Solomon didn't eat. You understand? But look at the level that they were in. When you build Hashem a house, a Beit HaMikdash, a Beit HaKnesset, a Beit HaMidrash, when you build them a place, even though they partied on that, they were supposed to fast that day, Hashem said, Salachti. They forgive. That means that 1 year they all ate on Yom Kippur, and Hashem said, Salachti. Not only said Salach, just go to your tents, which basically is a saying, that means go to your wives and make babies. Alright, that's what he was telling you. That means not only did he say you're forgiven, procreate, pru, keep on going. You understand? So Shlomo HaMelech was a nitzot. He was from the shorish nishmat of Moshe. But Moshe Rabenu goes deeper than that. Now the whole thing with the Malkat Shva, the Ethiopian wife, and so on and so forth. Moshe Rabenu, if we would only understand, says the Ari, the greatness of his neshama. The greatness of his neshama. Not just the greatness. The Ari says, he passed away on Mincha of Shabbat, and the Torah testifies, Velo yada ish et kivurato ad hayom hazeh. Nobody knows where he's buried. Now we know where he's buried. He's buried in the mountain of Nevo, right? Where Mount Musa is in Saudi Arabia. No, it's Mount Musa is in Saudi Arabia. Har Nevo is a mountain where the tribe of Gad was. Tribe of God, right? Tribe of God was a mountain called Nevo, and he was buried right next to what we call today the church. The church was here. Moshe Rabbeinu's kever was right here.
Anti-mainstream.
You understand? Beit Chabad and they didn't finish the Beit Chabad yet. So the Moshe Rabbeinu was buried right across which Avodah Zarah? Peor. What was this Avodah Zarah? Peor. We all know. We spoke about it many times. Peor from the word Para'o. So basically, it's his old nemesis. Wait a second. It's his old nemesis. It's his old antagonist. Who's Moshe's antagonist?
Stepfather.
Para'o. His stepfather. Para'o raised him, right? And who is he buried? By Peor. Same. The Ari says same letters, same word, same meaning. When a woman wants to walk outside with her hair uncovered, we say, Ufara et rosh ha'isha. She accepts upon herself the klipa of Paro. When a woman doesn't want to cover her hair, she accepts upon herself the klipa of Paro. You understand? Not only that, the Gemara says she causes her husband to be an ani, hirhurim, all this kind of stuff. Anyways, I don't want to get into it so much. You guys know everything. But the klipa of Paro, it's called Ufara et rosh ha'isha, Paro, Peor. Para, Arafat, Orpa. All you see the common word? Arafat, Orif. Yeah, it's Orif, right? And Moshe Rabbeinu, he was the neshama that put down that Orif. How? Remember when he went up to the mountain, Hashem, he says to Hashem, I want to see you. What does the Gemara say he saw? The back. He saw the dalat of tefillin. Where do we put the dalat of tefillin? Right in the Orif. You understand? Right in the back by the Orif, where the klipa of Paro is. That's where the klipa of Paro. That's what we call the klipa kadmon. That's the original klipa. The original negative force is called Paro, para. And also we have a holiday coming called Purim. You see those two letters that keep on coming, par. We talked about it on Shabbat, so the Mansapach, whoever was here in the Shiur, Shabbat, how the whole point of the Mansapach, how it's connected to Parnasa, right? How Moshe brought down the man. We're going to mention a little bit today, but that was a very strong point we said. Now, why does Moshe buried right across the Avodah Zarah of Peor? Now, what's this Peor? Peor, we said, though the Romans, nobody knows how the Western Roman Empire was destroyed. Nobody knows. They say they were sacked by the Visigoths, by the Vandals, by the Germanic tribes. But if you think about it seriously, many, many books were written how the Romans, we don't know exactly what happened to them. We don't know. How did they transform to the Roman Catholic Church? Like, they suddenly disappeared from being this fighting force to this totally... We don't know what happened to them exactly. But there is many theories. The Romans had an abundance of wealth. Abundance of wealth. They used to take, for example, they used to eat, they used to have a lot of feasts. The Romans in their calendar, I can't say the exact number, they had something like 150 holidays. People think Jews have a lot of holidays. They had at least 150 holidays, at least. All right, basically every other week was a holiday. Okay, and a holiday is not like we have today. We sit down, we're kadosh. Over there, a holiday was games, gladiators, dads, znut on the street, everything. Basically, to keep the masses drunk, kind of like what they do today, by giving us drugs for free, everything for free. Somebody told me today, I don't know how true it is, that there's a state in America today, right now, that already allows hard LSDs. It's already legal in one state in America. Which state is that?
We don't live in it.
We don't live in it. We might be living in it soon, you're saying? LSD's coke, everything. It's legal already. Hard drugs. Minnesota probably, right?
They know.
Vancouver and Canada, there's big overflow of fentanyl.
Yeah, fentanyl. Everything is legal over there.
Everybody was getting overdosed.
Over there in Vancouver.
The government came over and started giving free cocaine, free heroin.
Right. So basically, it's the same thing what the Romans did. Every other week is a holiday. Drug the people, keep them under control, and we give them what they want to enjoy themselves. Now, what they would do, they used to take the drug, the ancient Romans, they used to eat a lot. But they used to take a drug that made them release all the food that they ate. Then they will go back to eat more. That's exactly what peor was. You would eat, then take something, and then you would just have a nice release inside the mouth of peor. That was the avodah zarah. And of course, they would do some stuff on the avodah zarah. I don't want to get into it right now. But what they would do, says the Chalban, they used to mix the food with hashish, with marijuana. They used to mix the food. They used to mix the food with cannabis. The Chalban says that they used to mix the food with cannabis.
Very old.
It's a very old drug. Yeah, it's ancient. The Hindus use it a lot, by the way. You understand? In all their heebie-jeebie stuff. They used to mix the food with cannabis. Excuse me. They used to mix it with cannabis because it makes you eat a lot. Eat, and then the peor is so good after that. Peor. Moshe Rabenu, he couldn't forgive the tribe of Shimon. Why? Because they were doing cannabis. Yeah. The Chalban says that. Moshe Rabenu couldn't forgive them. And Moshe Rabenu said, I'm going to be buried right across Peor because the klipa, that's in the last generation, is going to be this klipa again. That's why what's legal now in America? This thing. Peor. That's why Peor is legal right now. Do you hear what I'm saying? And who's going to come back to finish the job now? Moshe Rabbeinu.
Where's Moshe Rabbeinu?
Huh? Mashiach is Moshe. Ad ki avo Shiloh. Shiloh ze Moshe.
Only person who can take care of
Where is Moshe Rabbeinu?
Who raised him?
No, where is he?
Where is he? Oh, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that.
Remember, you know, a lot of Jews, they don't think it's an Avera.
It's not only an Avera, but the tribe of Shimon were cursed with eternal poverty. You hear what I'm telling you? Eternal poverty they were cursed with. Anybody who comes from the tribe of Shimon, Simeon. Shimon. Why? They were very angry. How would they calm their nerves? Yeah, drugs. I'm not making this up. You guys are looking at me like I come out, like I work for a. I'm not making this up. The Chalban writes this in his sefer. Nobody knows. Yeah, true.
All the cannabis users.
Now I'm gonna tell you. But the tribe of Shimon, the color of their tribe was what color? Green.
The dollar bill.
Green. The greens. Green, yeah.
It's implied nowadays, like people.
Now, besides the fact, I don't know who's the tribe of Shimon today. Don't catch me by the tongue, But I'm just letting you know one thing. Now, boys, how come Moshe was the Rav Chaim Vital, right? It's his last thing in Etz HaChaim. Etz HaChaim, his last thing over there, last memra. Rav Chaim Vital writes, there are 3 big klipot in the world. 3 big klipot. One is Paro, Peor. One is Damascus, Syria. And one is Constantina, Turkey. Constantinople, the Byzantine Empire. When Rav Chaim Vital passed away, where was he buried? In Damascus. What was in Damascus that he decided to be buried over there? A certain Avodah Zarah over there, Klippa. Whoever passed over there would want to, Chas Shalom, be Lishtamid, he says over there, to become against HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to want to be a hefker. My father-in-law said, he lives in Florida. He's the rabbi of Shul over there, Eliyahu Mani. He was once telling me a story, how he's, Florida is a tourist destination. Yes, I know, it's a tourist state. So many people go there, from Orlando, a lot of Ashkenazim go there. Ashkenazi, our brothers. So he says one day he's in a bakery over there, and he sees an Ashkenazi young lady, she's making shopping over there. You can ask him when you see him. Ask him if the story is true. He told me this story firsthand. And she tells him, Rabbi, you live here? And he has a bit of a broken English. He's like, yeah, I live here. Yes, of course. Of course. And, he looks very counter. So she says to him, this is such a wonderful state. Sunshine every day. Beautiful, warm. I feel like I'm in. And she's having a conversation with a rabbi in the bakery. And she's telling, wow, I feel so amazing here. And he's like, Rabbi, don't look at me bad. Says, why? I felt so good over here. When I came here, I said, why do I need to cover my hair? I took my kisui rosh and I threw it. I want it to be free. Why? It's not minus gashtegi, habibi. The Torah says, Vayishman Yeshurun Vayiv'at. Yeshurun became fat and then he kicked. Who did he kick? Hashem. Hashem he kicked. Why? When it's too good in life, then you forget HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You forget HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Who gave you all that tova? When you get mas. How do they say in Bukhari? Mas. Why do they say mas? Mas otiot samech mem. When the samech mem comes inside of you, you get mas. What's the last sentence in the Purim? Vayasem Achashverosh mas aliyeh hayam. Mas. He put over there. You get mas. Right? Nalivai. Yeah, Nalivai. Why do we get mas on Purim? I want to tell you guys halacha. Emet. La'amitut ha'inyan. How do you know a person is kadosh versus chas shalom not kadosh? I'm not going to say the other word, but not kadosh I'll call it. You could test him by three things. Bekiso, bekoso, or bekaaso. Veyesh omrim, what's the last one? Af be schoko. I'm going to explain those three things right now. Bekiso, how much he's a kamton. How much he's kamton. Understand? How much he's jadni. Cheaper. Cheaper than, yeah. That's the first way you test a guy. Yeah. Pas, it's called. Sounds like mas. Kiso, you're trying to rhyme it, yeah. How cheap he is. I'm not saying it's Gemara, I'm saying Iruvin. Second, bekoso. You know what koso is? How he holds his liquor. What comes out of his mouth when he gets mas?
That's what father-in-law got to do.
Got to smack those fathers. What happens when he gets drunk? And the last thing, beka'aso. What's beka'aso? His anger. Does he have an anger issue? Does he get angry fast? Jal. What's the connection? What's this koso? What's this koso? So if drinking is such a bad thing, how come on the holiest day we drink, and we don't just drink? What's Ad lo yada? Like Moshe Rabenu. What's Moshe Rabenu? V'lo yada ish gvurato. On Purim, you test yourself. Are you kadosh or are you not?
By drinking.
You test yourself. You test yourself by your kos. When you drink your kos, do you become shoteh? You become shoteh? Great, or guspan. Yeah, I like that one. Or you become tzaddik. I remember by my Rabenu, they used to tell us stories in Yerushalayim. They do over there in Mayasharim, they do Sudat Purim. And they used to see people on Shema Aleh, people of valor. When they used to get drunk on Purim, they cried. Hashem, Chatati, Aviti, Pashati. Suddenly you see a rabbi in the middle of the street doing Tikkun Hatzot. In the middle of the Purim. That's considered Ad Lo Yadav. What comes out of his mouth? Kiddusha. Tahara. What happens when some other people, they drink on Purim? Suddenly he tells his wife, like I saw once, let's have another baby. He tells his wife, come home. He tells Divrei Nivela. Divrei Tuma'ah. Divrei, it's not Judaism. For this kind of guy, he doesn't have a mitzvah to drink on Purim. It's not a mitzvah. He doesn't need to do Ad Lo Yada. He could save his Ad Lo Yada. When do you have to do Ad Lo Yada? When out of your mouth, Nichnas Yain, Yatsa Sodot. Sodot HaTorah. Kedusha Shebatar. How come it doesn't say Nichnas Yain, Yatsa Pshat? Let's drink and start talking Gemara. Because to teach Gemara, you could even teach it when you're regular. But a person who teaches Sod, you know how much he holds back? This is by the Ari. He opens up a tefach, but at the same time, he covers tfachayim. As much as he shows, he's really covering much more. So you give the Rebbe, you give him something, so he can let out more Torah, something that's not... So, and when you hear it, does the yain open up my appetite for learning, or does it make me fall asleep when I'm learning? Does it make me fall asleep? Does it turn me into Moshe Rabenu or not? Does it take me to Ad Lo Yada like Moshe Rabenu, V'lo Yada Ish et Kevurato, that he could look right to the Peor, and he says to the Peor, I'm your nemesis. You're not going to pass. You shall not pass. You shall not pass. That's what he did to Peor. That's what the Rav Chaim Vital did to the Damascus. That's what we're going to do to Constantina Harishah. They just got a big hit with the thing. Hashem should save all these innocent people, but still, Constantina Harishah, it's a Byzantine Empire, Eastern Orthodox Church. You know who their brothers are, Russian Orthodox, right? Same time they're getting a hit, they're also over there, 1 year anniversary, okay? I'm telling you right now, Rabbi say we're seeing big things happening in Eretz Israel. It says before before Mashiach comes, the world is going to be, kulo zakai, kulo chayav, no 50-50. Like Eliyahu Navi told the Am Yisrael with the Nevi'ei HaBaal. He said, until when you're laying on the two doorposts. If God is God, go after Him. If Baal is Baal, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Either Hashem is Hashem or He's not. When Mashiach comes, everything is going to be clear. Either you follow Derech HaTorah or either not. That's the secret. 50-50. No 50-50. There's no, I keep the Torah and mitzvot, but then Motzei Shabbat I'm going to the club. Zelo Torah and mitzvot. I keep the Torah, but I go dance and mix the dancing with all the shtuyot over there. Chas v'shalom. It's a mitzvah. He's going to get offended for me, this, that. You give your, what do you call, convert. You give him that thing and you say, listen, I wish I could come, but I'm religious. Respect my religious beliefs. It's America, no?
They'll thank you for not coming.
They thank you for not coming, you know? You save him a seat. You save him a seat. Don't worry, you're not hurting anybody's feelings. Also, when I went to my cousin's wedding, mixed dancing, got up, say, I respect you, but I gotta go. Somebody invites me something mixed, I don't go. If Hashem is Elokim, lechu acharav. Im haBaal hu Elokim, lechu acharav. Pick which one is the right one. Are you gonna Shalom Bayit? Don't make me answer that question. By Moshe Rabenu, would you think Moshe Rabenu is gonna say Shalom Bayit? Is Moshe Rabenu gonna go to such a thing? Well, no, he's gonna get offended. Shalom Bayit. Is he going to be there and say, come on. Moshe Rabenu is going to be very nice. He's going to say, guys, I'm sorry, but I can't make it. The Chafetz Chaim, can I tell you an interesting Gemara? I forgot who's the student, but he asked Abaye. This I know for sure. He asked Abaye, one of the students of Abaye asked him, he says, how come in the previous generation, this is the time of the Gemara, how come in the previous generations, Hashem used to make open miracles for them? And I'm not talking about time of the Chumash. I'm talking about like the time of the Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Like he's in a cave and suddenly the water turns into wine. You hear what I'm telling you over here? For Shabbat. And carrots start going, sweet fruit. How come those generations Hashem made a miracle? For our generation, time of the Gemara, he says, Hashem doesn't make miracles for us. You know what he tells him? What he says to him has to blow your mind. He says, because they used to sacrifice their self for Hashem. We don't do Misirut Nefesh. This Abaye already said in his time. And trust me, he did a lot of Misirut Nefesh. This Abaye used to say in his time, we have to do Misirut Nefesh. Do you know Moshe Rabenu was the prince of Egypt? At least that's the part they got right in the movies. Right? He was the prince of Egypt. He was growing up in Paro's house. And I can tell you a secret. Paro knew exactly who he was. You have a white kid growing up with the Schwarzes over there. You think he's not going to know who he is? He knew exactly who he was. And not only that, Moshe Rabbeinu was tall. He was handsome. Actually, there's one that says that he wasn't so handsome, but he had countenance. He was a leader. He was a Navi. It says, he went down to his brothers to see this. You know what Moshe Rabbeinu did? Moshe Rabbeinu, he went down to his brothers to see what can I do to help them. And what do they do to him? They snitch on him. They snitch on him. And he says, Achen noda hadavar. Now I know why these guys are in Galut. Lashon hara. Achen noda hadavar biglal hadibur. Because of the snitching on each other to they're moser, they're moistering. Oh, again, they're selling each other out. They're mosrim. They're not like this. You're not allowed to put Am Yisrael down. You're not allowed to ever put them down, Rabotai. Always give kav zechut to Am Yisrael. But you still could give a little bit of musar. Instead of being a moser, give musar. It's all about that nikudah. What did Moshe Rabbeinu do? Hashem told him, go get them out. But they want to kill me, he said. It's not your job to understand who's going to kill you, who's not going to kill you. You take them out. I can't go, he says. 7 days Hashem is arguing with him. That story, every time I do Shnai Mikra and I read that story in the Torah, I always cry. How do you argue with God for 7 days? And you know what the Torah says at the end? That he meant it out of humbleness. Not because he didn't want to do the job. He did it, Ishokaki did it. Ishokaki did it. But he did it out of humbleness. Like, how can I? Who am I? Who am I to be the leader? Who am I to take them out? But my father is alive. Hashem says, no, don't worry, he's dead. I missed the Kaddish, he told him. First year, Yeshua. He says, my brother Aharon. He says, don't worry, he's going to see you, he's going to be happy. He's going to love you. It's one of the two places in the Torah where the Torah testifies what's in a person's heart. Over there by two brothers, by the way. One is by Aharon and one is by what is the other brother that the Torah?
Yosef.
What by Yosef? Who by Yosef? Judah, no. Reuven.
He would have went.
He said, put him in the pit to save him. To save him. And he argued with the Baruch Hu. To get to a level where the Torah testifies about you, that you're the most humble human being that ever lived. Rabbi say, Zelo Chidush. I'm asking you, Zelo Chidush. What's the secret of being humble? What's anava? Do you guys know what anava is? Humbleness. What's humbleness?
Stoic.
Stoic. Are you sure it's stoic? Listen, I'm not an English thing, but I don't think it's stoic. It's your new thing? It's 5 cents word of the year, stoic. Right?
Word of the day.
What? Kalacham. This I like. Kalacham. What? Huh? It's not bitul. Okay? Anava. There's fake anava and real anava. There's fake anava and real anava. Why did Hashem tell Moshe, and he said it right, kalecham. Why did Hashem tell Moshe when he asked him, let me see you? He knew already what Hashem said in Har Sinai, no man could see me. What did he mean, but I say, can I see you? You know what he meant? I want to see where is my avodat Hashem hitting in the olamot elyonim. When I do a mitzvah, I want to see what the effect is. So he tells him, see the dalet of tefillin. Why? Because when a person is anav, the dalet, when you put your head down, when you're in anav, your head goes down, but the dalet goes up. You think you're going down, but you're really rising up.
That's the order.
That's the orif. That's the orif. And it's, where is it? In the orif. Right where the peor is. Right where the peor is. The opposite of Paro, where Paro said, Mi Hashem asher yishma bekolo, lo yadati et Hashem. Vet Yisrael lo ashalech. Who is God? I'm going to listen to him. I don't know him. I'm not going to send his people. You think God couldn't send out the Jews like that? There's always a smart aleck in the crowd who says, why do you need 10 plagues? If he's Hashem, do like this and take him out. What's the point of creating the world if it's not to show Hashem's malchut? The glory of Hashem. The miracles of Hashem. Moshe Rabenu. Do you think they called him Moshe Rabenu in the desert? You know what they used to call him? Moshe. They used to call him Moshe. Moshe. They used to call him. I want to read you who is his Shorosh Neshama. Just when you see in the Torah, I'm going to read you something crazy over here. I'm not going to take so much of your time. Slav Shari Ora. Huh? That's the word of next year, though, no? Oh, it's this year too. So stoic and wild we got.
Wild is always.
Oh, wild was always the word.
Yeah.
I want to read you something. It says over here, Moshe Rabenu hu Hilula Zaken. Moshe Rabenu's nitzotz neshama is Hillel HaZaken. That's a chiddush? That's okay. Okay, you had the first chiddush of the night. Before it wasn't chiddushim. Now it's a chiddush. Yeah. Shnehem shavim b'shnotam. Both lived till 120 years old. U'shnehem anavim. And they both were very humble. Remember the story of no, I met Hillel as Moshe. You know, don't play me semantics over here. Both were very humble. Remember the story of Hillel? He's taking a shower. 3 times he comes, Mikan Hillel, Mikan Hillel, Mikan Hillel. Why are Africans' legs long? Why are Chinese eyes like this? Why are Mongolians have rounded heads? Well, you ask him Erev Shabbat. He has more important things to do than ask why are Mongolians' heads round. Terutot, Tatar. Terutot. To test his patience, and he was patient. And both of them, their names are in the 72-letter names of Hashem. There is a name in the 72 letters named Mem Hey Shin, Moshe, and there's Hey Lamed 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 Hey, which is Hillel. And both names are right next to each other. Right next to each other. That's from the Ari HaKadosh, man. One is Moshe Rabenu, one is Hillel HaZaken, but we don't end over there.
That's fine.
It says over there, Ki Moshe veHillel shoresh echad. They're the same shoresh neshama. V'chen Rabbi Eliezer Agadol, Rabo shel Rabbi Akiva. And so too Rabbi Eliezer Agadol, the Rebbe of Rabbi Akiva. And that's why when Moshe got up over there, he showed him all the generations. And he saw Rabbi Eliezer Agadol. And he says, Hashem, I want that kid. That's Rabbi Akiva. He said, I want Rabbi Eliezer Agadol to be from my descendants. He didn't mean actual descendants, even though he was a Levi. He meant from his shoresh neshama. I want him to come from me. And now I'm going to tell you something crazier now. Who was Rabbi Akiva? Rabbi Chaim Vital. The Ari says, Rabbi Chaim Vital and Rabbi Akiva, they're right a millimeter away in the Shorosh Neshamas. They're right next to each other. They're the same. If Rabbi Chaim Vital was Rabbi Akiva, who was Rabbi Akiva's Rebbe? Rabbi Eliezer Agadol. And who's Rabbi Chaim Vital's Rebbe? The Ari HaKadosh. And if Rabbi Eliezer, Ari is Rabbi Eliezer, and Rabbi Eliezer is Moshe Rabbeinu, then who's the Ari? Shorosh Nishmat Moshe Rabbeinu. Do you hear what I just told you
So you're
guys?
trying to tell me none of them fixed? You would think that.
Oh, that's this part right here. How come it takes him so long to be fixed? It's a pasuk in the Torah, by the way.
It makes sense he brought down Torah Shabbat Peh. He brought down
He brought Torah Shabbat Peh. He brought Torah Shabbat Peh. Came down by Rabbi Akiva, whose Rebbe is Rabbi Eliezer, and he brings down Torah Tasod. So you see now, but it's not done there. And not only that, V'chen Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, Rabenu HaKadosh. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi is Shoresh Nishmat Moshe Rabenu. V'chen Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And so too Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. How do we know? The Zohar says when he was teaching the Idra Rabbah, he said to his students, my face is shining like how Moshe went to get the second Luchot. And the Ari says, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Ve'odaticha ki Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai v'Rabbeinu HaKadosh v'gam Moshe Rabbeinu, kulam b'yisodot. They're all Shorosh Neshama in b'yisod. Just one is the Yisod of Chokhmah, one is the Yisod of Zah, one is the similar lives. They're all similar lives. Then they all did one thing. Disseminating new Torah. Not just Torah. New Torah. Before the Ari, there was no such kind of thing. Everything was hidden. Rav Yosef Jikatiria only opened up a little. Ramban opened up a little. There was no teaching of Partsufim, systems, Kavanot. I was learning with somebody here on Sunday. Some Kavanot at Tfilah. So I told him, let's learn Berchot HaShachar. He says, I know Berchot HaShachar, Rabbi. I know Berchot HaShachar. Let's go to Shmona Yisrael. I told him, you want to jump to Olam HaAtzilut? You still didn't do Olam HaAsiyah. He says, let me just teach you one Kavanah. I'm teaching them over there. Berchat Asher Yatzar is Shema HaKadosh. Elokai Neshama is Shem Ekir, to make a zivug between Havaya and Ekir. He's looking at me like, what? That's Berchot HaShachar? That's what's going on over there? Zivugim HaKadoshim? There's 18 blessings. Keneged 9 Sfirot of Zah, or Yashar, or Choser. Such things are going on just by the Jews saying Berchot HaShachar. And we're over here talking about Lahavdil, Donald Trump. He's rich. What rich? He's not even worth one bracha shelo asani goy.
2024.
Don't get me started, please. Don't make me laugh, please. Don't make me laugh. He's not even worth one bracha shelo asani goy. I promise you. If you could get yourself to that level where you would honestly tell yourself, Hashem gave me all of Donald Trump's money, all that, but I cannot be a Jew. I cannot say even one day the bracha shelo asani goy. Would you take that deal? Would you take, his grandchildren are Jewish, his this is Jewish, his that is Jewish, he moved the embassy to Jerusalem, good for him. Good for him. Sure, yes. Listen, we give him the credit. But he's not even worth, with all that credit and moving the embassy to Jerusalem, he's not even worth one of your shelo asani goys in the morning. I promise you. I'm not joking with you, not even a joke.
You know how many Jewish people eat from
No asma. You know how many Jewish people eat from you? Every time you wake up in the morning, put on tefillin, pray shachar, you know how much they eat from you? The olamot are waiting for you. When is Melo Yosef coming and putting on davening in the morning? They're waiting for you. Yavo goy tzaddik shomer emunim. Goy sheomer amen. 90 amens. 100 brachot. 4 kiddushas. Baruch Hashem mevorach. And it all started with the Torah coming down by Moshe Rabenu. Now, I told you his Shorosh Neshama. I want to tell you one thing over here, but I want to tell you something else. I'm going to save this for the next Hilula. I want to tell you something. Wait, Rebbe, wait. This is a chidush that I thought of before I came over here. We know from the parasha of Shemot, where Moses, Moshe, Rabenu, he had 7 names, by the way. Tuvia, Yekutiel, Itiel, Avigdor.
Like his father-in-law, also 7.
Also 7 names, right? Oh, they're really brothers, you know that.
Right.
Cain in heaven, right? Moshe Rabbeinu, from the time he was born, which is Parashat Shemot, till Zot HaBeracha, he's mentioned in every single parasha. Except for this week's parasha, Parashat Tetzaveh. We all know this question. There's 100 answers. I'm not here to tell you stuff you guys already know, even though it's always good to have a reminder. I want to give you my answer, why I think, a chidush of mine, why Moshe Rabbeinu's name is not mentioned this week's parasha. That's one answer, because it says Yortzeit, so they wanted us to know which week his Yortzeit falls in. You know, there's really an answer. That Maram Shik, I think, brings down the answer. The Chida writes a different answer, that Trumat Tetzaveh is really one parasha. That's why it starts with Ve'ata Tetzaveh. And that's why the Zohar says there's 53 parashas, but if you count, there's 54. The answer is Tetzaveh is really a continuation of Terumah. That's another answer. Those are all beautiful drashot. Okay? I want to tell you a chidush that I thought of before I came over here. I'm going to end with here. Zchut Moshe Rabenu again. Aleinu. It's a very big night tonight. The Mekubalim say you could be zocher to accept Torah again, because tonight is Meir Yesod Abba, which is the shorsh of the Torah. Yesod of Chokhmah is opening up today. Huh? Hakafot you want to do? So let's just say the chidush. How come he's not mentioned this week's parasha? So it says that Moshe Rabenu, he brought down the Torah. Correct or incorrect?
Yes.
He brought down the Torah, and the Jews said Naaseh v'nishma before they knew what they were getting into.
Right.
That's the kunz over here, right? That means they really had no choice. That means what you're destined to do, you're gonna do it whether you want it or not. The only question is how you're gonna do it. By swords and arrows, forks and whips, or you're gonna do it by,
There's no free will.
Either, but free will is how you're gonna do it. Okay, let's not get into the whole free will discussion right now. So Moshe Rabbeinu, Am Yisrael was destined to say, but they said, listen, Torah shebichtav was very beautiful. That's what you showed us to begin with. Now you're showing me all this Torah shebaal peh. Rebbe, we didn't sign up for this. Now, of course, the Zohar says there were a group of Jews that said, yes, we want it. Those are the people who come back in Gilgulim and learn Torah Hasod. The Zohar says that. Because remember, when they were by the mountain, they said to Moshe, we don't want to hear this anymore. We're done. We died twice. We went through the experience. We're good. We believe you. There is a God. You do it for us. We want to intermediate. But the Zohar says there are some people that said, no, Moshe, we want to hear it. We want to do it again for 10 times, 20 times. The Zohar says those are the people that when they're born, they love to learn Torah Hasod. Because their souls still wanted to hear it straight from us. Okay? So it says, by Moshe, they didn't accept Torah shebaal peh with love. They only accepted Torah shebichtav with love. So therefore they say, on Purim, right? Kimu v'kiblu. They accept the Torah again. So what is the pshat? They accepted what they accepted already, which is Torah shebaal peh, but this time they did it with love. So what Moshe Rabbeinu didn't finish, Mordechai finished.
Isn't he Mordechai?
Huh? It says Mordechai was Yaakov. Okay? This is Yaakov. So, Moshe didn't finish his job. Why didn't he finish his job? What was the nation that put a safek in Am Yisrael? Amalek. Which parasha always falls in Parashat Zachor? Parashat Tetzaveh. And Parashat Tetzaveh is the only parasha that doesn't say Moshe Rabbeinu's name. Because of Amalek, he didn't have the ability to finish his tikkun. And when was his tikkun? That the Jews should accept both Torahs with love. Torah shebichtav and Torah shebaal peh. And when Moshe Rabbeinu didn't finish, Mordechai finished for him. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen. Amen.